Welcome. Thank you for joining the Live in Divine Harmony podcast. I'm Karmen, your divine synergist of Heart's Joy. I'm a spiritual leader of purpose and a numerologist. I help those who are turned off by church, who are seeking connection, fulfillment, joy, and purpose, who may be feeling frustrated instead of experiencing joy daily. They want to fit in and will do anything to feel good, but it's not authentically who they are or what they want. Through coaching programs and events, I guide my clients to live their purpose and live intentionally every day, leading to a fulfilled and joyful life. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for notifications so you never miss another episode. Let's dive in. Welcome back to another episode of the Live in Divine Harmony podcast. Today is all about the numerology and energy for September. And if you're new here, welcome. Grab a notebook and pen. Be ready to jot down some integral dates coming up here in September. It is a very powerful month. Not only is it leading up to the elections, which, I've been hearing for quite some time, is there going to be an election? I do believe there is going to be an election. And I believe that, as we've been talking about, I know I've been talking about this since last year, that things are starting to come to light because we can't be shown everything all at once. It's kind of like, if God were to show you your end destiny, you would say, oh my gosh, that is too big for me. I can't do that. And so you've heard of just take the next step and that's in front of you, and that's essentially what's been happening. I'd say since last year. And I'm saying that based on what I've seen and based on the numerology. Last year, we're in a 7 energy year. This year, 2024, is an 8 energy year. And next year is a 9 energy year, which 9 is the end of a cycle. And so we are in a potent, powerful year in this 8 energy year. And it's also a time where a lot of us have been focused on our career and finances. We've been focused on what are our next steps? What am I really here to do? What is my bigger purpose? And for me personally, so I'm going to share this story with you because I wonder how many of you can relate. Recently, my neighbor died. And she became very ill at the beginning of August, very unexpectedly. And next thing you know, when I got back into town, I found out. And then, like a week and a half later, she's gone. And that whole situation has really rattled me because it's really made me think about, okay, you know what you want to do. And so are you really doing it? And I posed that question on social media the other day. It's a reminder of how precious and how short your life is here on earth. And I've been working with Liana Shanti, who's been reminding me that you really don't want to be thrown back into the wheel of reincarnation and to really heal your soul, save your soul. And no one else can do that but yourself. And it's interesting because I've been saying that for a while now, as far as no one else is coming to save you but yourself. And then when she said that, that just solidified it for me. And this whole year has been that focus. It's a powerful, potent year. And I'm going to ask you, are you seeing the signs? What are you really focused on? Are you focused on your healing journey? Are you focused on saving your soul? Do you think you're saving your soul, but things are still kind of going wonky? Because honestly, I highly encourage you to follow her, because what you think is saving your soul is honestly the opposite. And that is part of the information that's going to be coming to light, that's going to start to come to light anyway, where it's really going to rock a lot of people's worlds. So for those of you who are like, oh, it's just a conspiracy, or oh yeah, I got the juice and it's fine, I'm fine, no big deal, or I'm still going to go back to the conspiracy, oh, it's just a conspiracy, and you really never chose to dig into it, there's always some truth to a quote unquote conspiracy. And I chuckle because now look at the time difference, if you will, time differential between it being a conspiracy and it being a truth. And when things start to come to light, which it's already been happening, but especially this month of September, it's definitely gonna rock your world. And it's just the beginning. And that's why there are certain people that don't want the election to happen because they know who's going to get in power. And I don't say that out of fear because it's interesting how many people I talk to who don't actually see the bigger picture and or they're too stuck in the fear. And being stuck in the fear is actually what they want. So it's what Satan wants. It's what the enemy wants. And when you make decisions based on fear, when you make decisions based on your head, they're normally not the best. They're not normally, they are the worst decisions. And so in September is going to be a powerful release all month, not just at the full moon, not just here at the beginning. It's like it catapults. It's the beginning of a powerful release. So it's going to start this month, and there's still that focus on your purpose, which is something much bigger than what most people realize. Why do I say that? Because we're working with a 9 energy and an 8 energy for September, and we're in an 8 collective energy as well. So because of some of the planetary alignments coming up, one of which, let's just go ahead and talk about them. Uranus retrograde in Taurus started a couple days ago, September 1st. It's going to go through January 30th, which I just chuckle because a lot of people, one, don't know this information, or two, they say it's against the Bible or against Jesus, or it's, okay, that's that. If you want to stay in that belief, I honor where you are. And it's not a coincidence. These dates are not a coincidence. Because think about when this new president will be ushered in. And the Uranus retrograde is a disruptor. It disrupts what's not working, what isn't growing anymore. And I purposefully say growing. That's been the message that I keep seeing is are you still growing? And if not, is it because why? Is it because of your thoughts? Is it because of the energy frequency that you're in? Is it because of the people around you that you finally realize that are holding you back? What is it that is disrupting you? Is it because of the outside disruptions that you're using as an excuse to not move forward? Now is the time for you to move forward with whatever you're wanting to do. And so also the Uranus retrograde is also, it's kind of like clearing the path is what I see. Growing up, growing up, I grew up in the middle of a woods in the middle of cornfields, and we had these paths that my dad had created, and we would take it used to be our tractor that we would attach a little wagon onto until we got older. And then they came out with golf carts, and we would take these golf carts down these paths. And I can remember that is something that my father would do, is make sure that we had a clear path in order to drive. That's this energy. It's it is feeling like it's a disruption, but it's a disruption for you to grow. And if you, again, with all retrogrades, if you don't take care of it before, it takes care of it for you. we're in, pre-eclipse. The eclipses are coming as well. Um, so just keep that in mind, because I kept hearing that this first week of September was going to be a little crazy. Somebody used the word wild. Don't remember who that was. It might have been Leanna. Um, and there's a guy I follow on Twitter, and he actually gave a whole list of timeline shifts and said January 6th, or I'm sorry, September 6th is going to be a timeline jump for everybody. And that is part of these retrogrades. Pluto has been in retrograde, and it's been in retrograde in Aquarius, and it's shifted, I believe, on Monday into Capricorn. I'm looking here at my calendar. Yeah. And into Sunday into Capricorn. And then of course we had our new moon Monday night. And you also have other planets in retrograde as well. And we just got out of the Mercury retrograde. We're in the post shadow for Mercury retrograde. So Mercury stationed direct on the 28th of August. And now we're in that post shadow period through September 11th, where we are wrapping up whatever it was that needed to occur, didn't happen. Those energies are going to be wrapped up during this. It's about a 2-week post shadow period. And my question for you is, have you gone back to your journal and see what is the pattern? What is the lesson for you? There's always patterns and lessons during this time. And if you aren't sure what I'm talking about, you're curious how to work with the Mercury retrograde, um, everything, all the information is in the online community. So it's called Mighty Networks if you haven't heard of it before. It's a different type of platform. I love it a lot better than Facebook groups. In fact, I'm spending less and less time on Facebook, and you can access it through a free app or online as well. So I'll make sure that you have the details on how to join our Experience Your Awakening community so that you can take advantage of the information that's out there, because the information I share for Mercury retrograde, you can use during every single Mercury retrograde. It's not just a one-off. So now is the time during post shadow period where I always kind of go back over and I look at what I journaled on during the pre shadow period to see what was it? What am I? What is the lesson for me? What's the themes that are coming up? Because if I had to guess, they're going to overlap with things that are going to be coming up for you starting this week. And I say starting this week because of the Uranus retrograde. So I've been kind of bouncing around. While we're talking about that, let's go ahead and talk about, you've got a new moon in Virgo, September 2nd. We're still in that energy. This is, so let me say this. In the Cultivate Confidence and Clarity program, we talk about how do you want to feel? And what is it? It's the masterclass. We talk about how do you want to feel, and how you feel is how you show up. And that's the focus of this new moon energy, is how do you want to feel each day? And then how are you creating routines to cultivate that of how it is that you want to feel each day? So if you want to feel abundant every day, are you creating time throughout your day to have that feeling happen? That is the energy for this particular new moon. And new moon energies are always 3 days before, 3 days after, so you still have some time to, because I'm recording this on September 3rd, so you still have some time to really work with that energy. And it's a time of new beginnings. And some people may say, but Karmen, you just said it's a disruptor. Yes. In order to experience these new beginnings, you've got to disrupt the old. And it's uncomfortable. And we've got to get in that uncomfortable feeling and uncomfortableness for us to go after what it is that we really want. And if you aren't sure what you really want, You can join us in the masterclass, or we have the same material plus a few extra items will be in the upcoming retreat as well, where it's going to be a weekend getaway and we can really take time to focus in on what is it, and let's get really clear that I want in my life. How am I going to feel about it? What am I going to create, and how am I creating? Because we're creating every day. We're probably not creating what we do want, though. So then you have the eclipse. You've got the super full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces, September 17th. The super full moon piece is, it just means that the full moon is closer to Earth, and it magnifies. So the full moon is already potent. It magnifies it, let's say times 100, that energy. And then eclipses, and I have a whole, I think I actually have multiple podcasts out there that talk about eclipses in general. Eclipses will quickly shift timelines for you. And you also have to surrender and allow it to happen. And that's a part of the energy for this eclipse on September 17th. Now, normally they come, you have like an opening doorway and a closing doorway. And I'm only talking about the opening doorway because these are kind of high level energies that I'm talking about in this podcast for this month. As we get closer to the eclipse, I will do a podcast about this particular eclipse and how the energies were, how many years ago, what happened then, that type of thing. Okay, so we'll do an in-depth look closer till time. What I want you to know is it's all, again, a surrendering process, let go. And a lot of the surrendering is we've got to get out of ego. You've got to get out of ego and truly surrender to the process. It's a belief and knowing and trusting, not trusting yourself, not trusting the process. I never say that. It's all about trusting yourself. And when we don't trust ourselves, then we aren't trusting God. We aren't trusting Jesus. We're saying that we know more and we don't. When we say we know more, that's our ego. And I've talked about this multiple times. So that's a reminder with these energies coming up. Can you release? What is it that you need to release? Is it something that you've thought about releasing for a while and you, because of fear, it's normally because of fear that we don't do it. And a lot of it's because of the unknown. We don't know what it looks like on the other side. None of us do. And so we have a hard time releasing, or it's our righteousness, or I know more than you, or I'm always right, that really gets us stuck. And it's funny how I used to not be able to pick up on it as quick of the I have to be right. And I don't know if it's I'm learning the different questions to ask. I'm picking up on it pretty quickly though. So definitely something to put a mirror up for you, not a literal mirror, just a figurative mirror. Hold that up and start to notice, is this you? Am I talking about you? Are you showing up this way? And then you can go from there. Then you can decide what are the next steps for you so that you don't show up that way. Because it may be quote unquote helping you now. It's not really helping you. It's a false sense of help, false sense of security, of control, because control's not real. So this month, it's for me, it's like the beginning of the dominoes falling, and you can take that how you want. I think people always say, oh, is that good or bad? Is change good or bad? It's always good. We're gonna experience it on all the different scales. So on the political scale, we're gonna see it play out. Society scale, you're gonna see it play out. In your personal life, you're gonna see it play out and have that experience. And it's how are you creating stability in your life and surrendering to what really needs to happen instead of trying to make things happen of what you want. So as the dominoes fall and take place, it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. And there may be a grieving process. I know for society, you're going to have a grieving process if you don't already know or have any inkling as to what I'm talking about. There will be a grieving process. And for those of us who already know, we already know. And so we're kind of like, yeah, I've either heard about this a few years ago or I've known for years. And so on a personal level, just allow yourself the grace and time that you need to work through whatever the experiences that you're having, and honor yourself for where you are. Don't judge it. And remember that everybody's in a different place along their journey. And all of this is going to happen simultaneously, no matter where you are along your journey. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. The way the community is structured now, the Experience Your Awakening community, it's structured so that we actually can have conversations in there. It was not that way before. So if you were turned off by church, you're seeking for connection, fulfillment, joy, and purpose. Maybe you're even feeling frustrated instead of experiencing joy daily. Join us in the Experience Your Awakening community, and let's get these conversations going in the community. I'd love to hear from you. And you'll see posts from me in what I call Karmen's feed there in the community as well. When you join, all you need to do is register your name and email, and that gets you in. Make sure to turn on notifications, especially either in the app or to your email, so that you never miss any other posts that happen in there. We have people in there from around, I think I've got some people from the UK in there and some people from Canada and of course the United States. So all over, who are purpose seekers and who are seeking this connection, fulfillment, and joy and purpose. So I will see you soon in the community. And until next time, sending you much love.